In addition to creating a regular rubric in Schoology, we can make it work for a single point. Let's take a look at some examples. If I click on my grade setup, I can see all my rubrics. I'll go over to Rubrics on the top right. Here I can see 3 different kinds I've created. In this first example, it's a 4-point scale. Notice that the criteria are indicated for the standard, and then only the meets description has been added to the rubric. This simplifies things for the student and reduces the cognitive load so they can really focus in on the expectations for how to meet that standard. In this example, it's very similar. The only difference is the points have been scaled up. Instead of a 4-point scale, it's out of 20 points, for instance, in this content section. This can make it equate more easily to a traditional grading scale. In this third example, we've simplified things even more. Here notice there are only 3 columns for grading. There's an exceeds, a not yet, and a meets column. In each of these examples, rather than trying to guess all the ways a student could exceed or possibly not meet the standard and putting all of those into the rubric, we simply describe the meets criteria. And then when we go to score this, we would need to click the comments bubble off to the side if the student has either exceeded or not met the standard, and describe why they have or have not. Let's take a look at how this would look for the teacher. First, we'll go into a classic assignment. Here we can see the rubric we've created. When I go to grade a student, I would click on the student's name. I can see their submission. I would click on the rubric at the top, and now I can simply click on each of the criteria where the student has achieved. For anything where they've exceeded or not met, I would come to the side, click on the little comments button. I would type in the comments, and then that would indicate to the student how they have exceeded on that standard criteria. Notice the comment bubble lights up, indicating to me that I have left a comment. I'll click Save when finished. Here the student has turned in a video. However, as the teacher, I could have them turn in other types of assignments as well, such as text-based assignments, like this essay, or Google Drawings, slides, and spreadsheets. If the student has submitted multiple submissions, you would access those in the top right. If I click on the comment bubble at the top, I can leave an overall comment for the student. I would need to click Show to Student for them to see that, and this will appear in the gradebook. The Google Workflow assignment looks slightly different. Here as a teacher, you would click on Submissions, click on the rubric icon, and the rubric will slide open from the right. Here you would come down and you would click the score the student has achieved on each of the criteria. Again, if a student has not achieved a 3, you will want to indicate how they've exceeded or partially met or not met the standard. I can click on the icon here for comments and type in the comment. When you're finished, save at the bottom. If you need to make an adjustment to a score, simply go back into the student's submission, click on the rubric, and you're right back in. You can also manually override the score at the top. Back in the classic view, if you had indicated a higher point than just 4, say 20 for instance, you could come over here and manually adjust the points to 16 or 17 for instance. Be sure to save, of course. Let's take a quick look at the student view. If I click into the classic view, this is what the student will see. When a student clicks into their assignment, they can click on the rubric at the top and see the scores given by the teacher. Next, we'll click into the Google Workflow. The student would click on My Document. They would see their rubric score to the right with individual scores on each criteria, and any comments will appear right below the criteria. So if you choose to use single-point rubrics for your work, you can make them work in Schoology.